Welcome to Lesson 7 of the Oak AI Story Lab. I'm your host, Joe Bandel. Today I think we got a pretty interesting lesson. It's called Letting a Scene Breathe. And what's interesting is this lesson, we're actually adding in some stuff that we've just been learning about a few weeks ago, or learning more deeply. But I'm going to dive right into it here. One of the first mistakes new AI filmmakers make is believing that something dramatic must happen every second. The character must move. The character must speak. The character must perform. The camera must constantly change. The scene must always be busy. Ironically, this often makes a scene feel less alive rather than more alive. Many beginners assume that movement and emotion are the same thing. They're not. A character can run across the battlefield and communicate very little. A character can stand perfectly still and communicate everything. The secret is understanding where the emotional movement is occurring. A scene breathes when the audience has room to feel what is happening. If something's just motion, the audience can't catch up. They're just trying to follow the movement, but it is the emotional movement that is really important. A scene breathes when the audience has room to feel what is happening. That does not mean nothing is happening. In fact, some of the most powerful scenes contain tremendous activity. The difference is that the activity is not always coming from the character. The environment can carry emotion. Light can carry emotion. Weather can carry emotion. Symbols can carry emotion. The world itself can participate in the storytelling. In AI filmmaking, this is especially important because AI often understands environmental storytelling remarkably well. A creator may ask for a simple moment, yet the scene begins generating subtle layers of meaning through motion, atmosphere, lighting, and symbolism. A tree sways, water ripples, shadows emerge, lights shift, clouds gather. This is what we call emergent generative behavior. And this is what I personally really encourage because it makes the movie a lot more interesting. And most of the time, it adds something that really makes the movie better. Something changes inside the scene, even when the character remains still. The audience feels that movement. Many of the strongest scenes in the Oak Tarot series illustrate this principle. Now, usually I'm giving one video clip from our recent tarot deck series, but because of the special lesson today, I'm actually going to be including two of them. I'm going to be including the video for the star, and I'm going to be including the video for the moon. But I'm going to be talking about them both right now. Now, in the star, the woman barely moves, yet healing waters flow from the heavens. Mud dissolves into clear water. Energy rises through her body, and hope quietly returns. If you look at that star card, you might think, hey, this doesn't make any sense, because the woman should be standing in a pool of water. But she's kind of like, the card makes it look like she is standing in the sand, waist deep in the mud or waist deep in the beach, and the pool is right next to her. But when the water flows in, the healing water flows in from the star, what you're seeing happening is something very unique, something very neat. What's happening is that what looked like beach or what looked like mud or whatever actually turned to water. And what you could think of as an error in an artifact within the movie generation process actually became profound, because it's saying that little bit of starlight, that little bit of water from the star was able to liquefy and turn all of that mud to make it disappear. And you could see the energy coming up through the woman. That is powerful. And she feels the relief because you can see it in her face. You can see it smile. She's no longer stuck in the mud. She's still in the same spot, but something shifted and she's no longer stuck. And when you start thinking about the symbolic meaning of being stuck in the mud, the story gets even more profound that way. But now I'm going to talk about the next card, the moon card. In the moon, the couple stands nearly motionless while dark waters swirl, hidden figures emerge from below, and unconscious fears rise between them. They're just looking at each other. But they're looking at each other, and you can tell that they're kind of afraid. And what are they afraid of? They're afraid of the intimacy that is increasing between them. What they're actually, if you think about it, this is when you're looking at the moon card, it's like each one of them's looking at the other and kind of with love, but kind of with fear. And they're saying, I wonder what kind of baggage they are bringing into the relationship. And I wonder what they think about the baggage that I'm bringing in, because each of us has things we want to hide. And when we enter a relationship, we become vulnerable that way. So in the moon card, the characters do very little. The scene does a great deal. The lesson is not to remove movement. The lesson is to place movement where it matters the most. And in the moon card, those two slimy black figures that emerge out of the black water, the couple doesn't even see them because they're looking into each other's eyes. And then that slimy black couple, those two go back down into the water. That's kind of creepy, but it's parts of themselves So there doesn't need to be a lot happening. The characters do very little. The scene does a great deal. The lesson is not to remove movement. The lesson is to place movement where it matters most. Ask yourself, what is the emotional purpose of this scene? Once you know the answer, allow the environment, symbols, atmosphere, and character to work together toward that purpose. Do not force the character to carry the entire scene. Let the world participate. Often the most memorable moments occur when the audience notices something before the character does. A shadow, a reflection, a change in light, a symbol emerging from the background. These moments create depth because they invite the audience to become part of the experience. The goal is not constant action. The goal is continuous emotional movement. When a scene breathes, the audience has time to notice, time to feel, time to connect. The next time a scene feels weak, resist the urge to simply add more character action. Instead, ask, what is the environment saying? What is the symbolism saying? What is the scene itself trying to communicate? You may discover that the most powerful storyteller in the frame is not the character at all. It is the world around them. This lesson is really precious to me. I think this is really important. All of these lessons are important. We've learned them the hard way. And I'm gradually becoming more comfortable with how I create these lessons and share these lessons. But this one is special because I just did those two cards, the star and the moon card, just a few days ago, and added it right in. Anyway, till next time, thank you. And create good luck, have luck on creating scenes of your own. Share your scenes, share what you're doing in the comments and in the community. Thank you a lot. Bye.